Good morning, everyone. John Money McKinley here with your weekly edition of Real Talk with Real Estate Pros. Today, I have got a seasoned expert here with us, Mr. Frank Thomas. No, not of baseball fame, but the great Mr. Frank Thomas here. He happens to be with Realty Executives over in the Woodlands. And Frank brings to the table over 20 years of real estate experience. And sure as any of you know who have seen some of my past shows, we're really digging into what's truly happening in the world of real estate right now. There's a lot of stuff going on today in this wonderful place that we call America. And of course, as always, if you pay attention to the television, you're going to get what the actors tell you is happening. And usually we find that most of the time they're not given the true honest answers. That's why Real Talk with Real Estate Pros, I'm bringing this to you all. It's going to give you some real answers to what's truly happening in America today in the world of real estate, particularly more here in the Texas/Houston market. But with all that said, I'd like to introduce Frank Thomas. Frank, how are you doing on this fine morning?
Good.
Well, I appreciate you being on the show and bringing
Thank you.
some of your insight. I know you've got, about 20 plus years of experience in the wonderful world of real estate, correct?
22.
22. Wow. Seems like yesterday.
Yeah, pretty much. The good old days.
Exactly. Now, just for full disclosure, I've known Frank for quite a long time. I actually met Frank when he was new in the business and I was new in the business, and we both kind of sort of only knew stuff, right?
Pretty much. We learned it real quick.
Exactly. And, I know Frank, like myself, takes a lot of pride in being there to help our customers and people really get an understanding of what's going on and what's truly happening. And I know we've seen a lot going on. I mean, heck, Frank, it doesn't seem like that long ago where all people had to do was walk into one of our offices and basically give their name, social security number, and date of birth and fog the mirror up. And guess what? We could give them a home, right?
Most definitely. That was like I said, that was the good days.
Exactly. But why don't you share with us a little bit of things that you kind of see going on in the world of real estate today versus what was going on even, let's just go back, 10, 15 years ago.
Shoot. Like you said earlier, I mean, basically you can fog out the mirror and you got a house pretty much. But these days the interest rates are jacking everything up, and it's a little difficult to get somebody a loan if because the interest rates are so dang high right now. Prices are not coming down as much as everybody thought, but the interest rates are keep creeping up.
Yeah, we've definitely been seeing an uptick in interest rates, and you mentioned interest rates, and I'm just going to put my insight and what I've seen going on historically in America. We can all admit we were at extremely suppressed interest rates for quite a while since the last great mortgage meltdown. You remember 2007, 2008, don't you?
Oh, most definitely.
They pulled the rug out.
A lot of people, though, John, you sit there and think they all enjoyed these 3%, 4% interest rates, but technically right now it's 7, 6.5. Before, I know it's a little bit more right now, but this is norm.
Exactly.
Rates, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking here at some data during the 1990s, and God, it seems like 1990s was yesterday, but it turns out that was quite a long time ago.
Yeah, that's for sure.
We had pagers and cell phones, and I think some people still had mullets back then, right, Frank? But I'm looking at some numbers here. The average, the rates began the decade back in the 90s at 10.13%, which was the average.
Just think it's that if that's now.
It may be coming.
Yeah, could be, could be. That's why you need to get a house now.
Exactly. But we've seen a lot of movement, and in all honesty, the Federal Reserve really should have, after the great mortgage meltdown of 2008, once they started getting everything stabilized, they really should have started backing off on the suppressing of the interest rates and allowed a nice gradual increase up. But of course, the Obama administration, they were taking enjoyment of the lower interest rates because it kept everything moving. And then, of course, the Trump administration came in and went, hey, wait a minute, this helps everything rocking and roll and keep everything going. Well, unfortunately, the party always ends and everybody's got to start sobering up. And the sobering up part seems to be the part that's the worst always.
Yep. Yep. I agree. I agree.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about what you see going on with inventory? Because now that we're talking about the elevated home prices as well as the elevated interest rates, what are you seeing? What are you seeing from people that you're working with? Because I know you're a very active real estate broker here in the Houston market. And tell me what type of response you're getting from people you're working with, whether it's buyers or sellers.
Either way, I mean, basically the inventory, John, is probably getting where it's more active listings coming on the market than active listings going into pending and sold listings. So that basically means that the inventory is creeping up slowly but surely. And from there, it's going to have to do something where the prices are going to have to start dropping, or basically the lease inventory is going to start creeping up again.
Okay.
Prices are going to go up on that part.
Are you seeing, when you're dealing with people that are coming to you to buy a home now, are you seeing people leaning more towards going, hey, Frank, I'm unsure about the market. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to go on. Maybe I should rent. Are you seeing more of that type of response from the people you're dealing with?
Some, yes, but not too many. If they've got the money into the houses now, if they sell it. But again, John, you're going to have to sell it for, you're going to have to be the biggest or the best house out there with the cheapest price to be able to get it sold, or it's going to sit for a while on the market. But, they got enough money when they sell it to go ahead and buy something and hope that the interest rates are going to come down later.
Typically, we've noticed in the trend of things, I mean, interest rates in America have always done this. And that's something that I've noticed since I've been involved in the wonderful world of real estate on the financing side, is real estate in America always has trended in an upward direction. Where people get a little bit worried and concerned is it always has its ebbs and flows.
Right. Sure. We're not like, California or Florida or something like that, where the interest rates skyrocket and then fall down to bottom, bare minimum.
You mean the prices?
Our real estate is just at a trend. It goes up and down, but very, very minimal.
Now, I know you've got a lot of good experience working with real estate investors. What are you seeing their attitude is right now in this market with the elevated interest rate? I know you deal with real estate investors from the single family. I also know you have a lot of work with some pretty sophisticated real estate investors in the multifamily as well. I mean, as a matter of fact, I don't want to mention any names here, but you and I have a mutual client that we actually met in the 2000s before the mortgage meltdown. That when we first met with him and his wife, they had no children. They hadn't been in America very long, as a matter of fact, and they literally owned no real estate. And now we'll call him Mr. X, owns hundreds of single family homes, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
Is that correct, Frank?
He's got over 400.
Yeah, over 400 homes, as well as how many multifamily would you say Mr. X has?
Well, I mean, multifamily, talking about duplex and above, he probably has at least 150, I would say. The biggest one I would think he would have is about 25 units.
Wow, that's incredible. And
So,
that's just going from somebody who started in the 2000s till now into 2023. And I'm going to take a wild guess right now, Frank. Our mystery real estate investor here who started with zero, he lived in an apartment at the time.
pretty much.
Yeah. Now he owns apartments.
Yeah, exactly.
Is still out there buying real estate today. Am I correct?
Yeah, he sent me a list today saying make offers on these, and I said okay. Well, it's been slow for a while, but now he's getting back into it again, and because he knows that it's going to continue going up versus down.
Exactly. And here's the thing is people always need a place to live. And that's something that I want to stress to everyone out there listening to this show, whether you're watching it live now or whether you are watching this on the recording, is you always have to have a place to live.
Yep.
And especially in these times, you want to make sure you have the right people in your corner who are going to help guide you through the process, and also make sure that they're going to help you do the things for you and your family. They're going to help you do the right thing. I personally know for myself that depending on what's going on with some individuals, sometimes it's better for them to rent because they have other things they need to get worked on in their life, which
Sure.
I know that you and I have both ran into that working with people.
Oh yeah, better credit, better interest rates, the whole works.
Exactly. Now, I know the affordability. We were talking about the affordability, and here's something I want to bring up. And I was also taking a look at this. Here's a quick article. Some information on some articles I've been reading. I just want to share with our viewers here. As of September 2023, the Houston market has experienced the 18th consecutive month of declining sales, with a notable shift of prospective home buyers towards the rental market due to rising interest rates. The average price of single-family homes has seen a slight increase to $416,664.
Isn't that crazy?
That is insane. I remember.
I was just going to say, I remember back when the mortgage meltdown and all that happened, you could buy a house for less than $100,000. Man, I wished I knew what I knew back then, huh? And had a lot of money.
You remember, Frank, there wasn't a time too long ago where somebody comes to us and they're wanting to get a loan for $416,000. I'm going, oh, that's jumbo pricing, sir.
Exactly.
Now you can get an FHA loan.
Yeah, that's it. Barely.
Exactly. But here's some news to put people's mind at ease, at least here in the Houston market. Well, the median home price has decreased to $333,000. A lot of threes there. The inventory has expanded to 3.5 months supply, the largest since November of 2019, providing more options for home buyers. Sales in townhomes and condominiums have also declined for 16 straight months. Overall, the Houston market is expected to remain sluggish as the year comes to a close, with modest price adjustments.
Yeah.
So
I really think that's going to continue to go that direction per next year, at least a half of it.
let me put this on the table, Frank, and I'll put this question out there to people that are thinking about buying or even homeowners. Do you all feel that our housing prices have become a little on the high side and a little elevated and have made it less affordable for people to buy right now?
I think so. at least the average, blue collar worker.
And it's almost as if we have to have some type of correction in the market to balance things out and bring
Yep.
things back level.
Correct.
The good news is, and like your opinion on this as well, is we don't need a large drop off to where we go from, let's just say, the $333,000 home price sale. Okay. If the market's starting to be the medium price around that range, that is a good, strong number that I think as the rates start to level off in the near future here, and I say near, I mean, it could be a year from now, it could be 2 years, it could be 3 years.
Sure.
So trust me, everybody, if I had a crystal ball, I can tell you what interest rates were doing. I'd be on an island somewhere talking to all the people in the secondary market and the mortgage side of things going, would you like some information on the future interest rates? I need my money.
Dang right. Dang right.
But I think we're going to see a nice leveling off, and things in the not too near distant future should start getting back to a more normacy, because when you, and that's been the way of the American economy for longer than you and I have been around, Frank. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. It's like, we just wish a lot of the policies, no matter who was in office, could start getting a better balance on things. But it doesn't seem that the folks, I won't mention any names, Federal Reserves. Oh,
yep. They make their money. You know that.
Exactly. Would want that to happen. What are you seeing in the new construction side of things? Because I know there's some things going on, and we're talking about these elevated home prices and dropping down a little bit of the medium home price. And I know that you've said, and I've seen it a little bit too, where people are a little concerned and they seem unable to afford some of these housing prices. Have you seen anything that's come along, maybe here in the Houston or surrounding areas, that may offer a little ray of hope for people and go, hey, look, there is still affordable housing out there?
Oh, yes, John, most definitely. I mean, right now I've got 2 or 3 on the market that are less than $200,000. But, grant you, it's going to be smaller than a 300,000 square foot home, or 3,000 square foot home, sorry. But, it's 1,600, 1,300, some are 900, and you could get them at pretty low. Some could be fixer uppers, some could be brand new homes. I've got 3 on the market that are brand new that are 160, I think 165 and 159. So that's pretty dang good for a home, but they're small. They are small. Like, they're almost tiny houses. But hey, at least that's affordability for somebody that's single or just gotten married.
Well, another nice thing too is now you have something for somebody who is a first-time home buyer, as you said, single, maybe newly married, something they could live in for a couple years, and they could either sell it when they're ready to, upgrade, or even turn it into a long-term rental.
Most definitely.
I mean, you and I have both worked with people that started out buying their single family home, and during the process, we of course let them know, hey, we've got a lot of experience with real estate investing ourselves personally. I know I'm involved in real estate investing. I know you're actively involved in real estate investing, and we've helped people go from becoming homeowners to becoming real estate investors. I've got, another client of mine that we met. You know him as well. I don't want to mention any names once again, but him and his wife combined have over 10 single family homes. Both of them still have their jobs, but over the past 12, 14 years have done quite well for themselves and given themselves a nice, steady residual income.
Yep. We can make anything happen. I promise that. We've done it before.
Exactly. Month after month after month, you have that rental income coming in. And in my opinion, especially with what's going on with with the younger generation, I hate saying younger generation because that makes me feel old.
Well, you are.
Now, Frank, it's all
Hey,
in your
that just
mind,
tells
Frank.
me that same age as I am, so we're all young.
No, Frank. Don't come on me. You're the old one here, sir. A young man as myself with a fabulous head of hair. Come on, Frank.
I've got a little bit.
But a lot of them seem to be a little nervous on buying right now, and which is good for the real estate investors out there. And I think as this economy starts to level off in the coming years, I think we'll start seeing a little more of the youth start realizing that, hey, wait a minute, this renting our whole lives is not all it's cracked up to be. Because at
All
the
you're
end of
doing
the
is throwing your money away.
Exactly. I mean, if you're just going to be in an area for a short period of time, a year or less, great, rent. If you want to see what the area you're thinking about moving in permanently is, if you want to rent for 6 months to a year, that's fantastic. But once you get past a couple of years in renting, you look at it and go, that's virtually paying 100% rent every month.
Yep. I mean, just think right before COVID, 2018, 2019, if somebody got a house during that time frame, now it's worth probably $100,000 more. I mean, it's crazy that it could happen in a heartbeat like that. I mean, just like that. So I know that it's worth buying a house versus renting.
Exactly. And like we said, I mean, we have some people that after they buy their first starter home, because let's be honest, the average first time home buyer lives in their home 3 to 5 years. Okay. Their first home, 3 to 5 years. Even the ones that get in there and go, this is my forever home. This is the home we're going to live in forever. Right around 3 years, that first home they move into, they start getting the itch.
Right.
And
one the bigger one.
Exactly. Or a different neighborhood, or jobs change, or things change. And heck, just in a short period of time, from our parents' generation to our generation, people really don't stay at their jobs for 20 plus years anymore.
No, very few.
I mean, how many people are still working for the same company they worked at? Heck, ask some of these 30-something-year-olds that they were working at 5 years ago, 8 years ago. So, but that leaves a lot of opportunity for, let's say the market's a little on the downside when you're wanting to sell, because at the end of the day, really the only time the price of the home really truly matters is when you're wanting to buy, when you're wanting to sell.
Right.
In the middle, it really doesn't have any effect on you, because once again, you have to have a place to live. Well, let's say the market's a little on the downside and you don't want to take, you're not going to get as much money as you thought you get on the sale. Fantastic. Let's take that home. Let's turn it into a rental for a year or two.
Yep.
Let's get you getting some nice cash flow. There's plenty of programs out there that will allow you to get another home, turn that home into a nice monthly cash flow, collect $300, $400, $500 a month as your equity builds back up in the house. And then if you're ready, sell it. Heck, sell it to the tenant that you have in the home.
Sure, most definitely.
How many investors have you worked with in the past, Frank, that have taken their homes, they've owned them for a few years, the tenant lived in there 2 to 3 years, and then they turn around and sell that home to the tenant?
Yep, all the time. That gives the tenant a pour to, say, hey, I've rented all this time and paid my bills on time and paid mortgage on time, your mortgage anyway. And from that point, at least that makes a difference to somebody, and you could get them a loan if they've done their job.
Exactly.
And if you do got credit repair or need credit repairs, hey, we've got those people too.
Exactly. And it all comes back to, like I said, and my producer's kind of nudging me over there saying, hey, we got to start getting it wrapped up. We're getting towards the end of the show. But Mr. Thomas, it's been great having you on the show. And please, if you would, kind of share with us some of your final thoughts here on what you see going on in the wonderful world of real estate, and definitely like to have you back on the show in the future.
No, I would love to. Anytime, just let me know. But real estate wise, you're always have to have a home, just like John was saying earlier. And it's always a good time to buy and always a good time to sell, in my opinion, or lease. So give me a call and we'll make it work one way or the other.
Perfect. Well, once again, this has been another edition of Real Talk with Real Estate Pros. And just want to throw that out there. Everybody be careful. We're entering into the wonderful time of year where the season of died suddenly is starting to come upon us. So be very careful out there. Y'all have a great day, and look forward to having y'all back here next week on Real Talk with Real Estate Pros.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.